welcome. It's a pop-off, baby. It is James Wudi. We got Genefitzmagic. We got Caleeb Pinkett right here. We do not have Nigel Downer, so I am doing the poorest man's impression, if you will, of Nigel right here, trying to get the show popping off. Gene, how you doing, man?
Before we get into that, can we just say sorry for being a few minutes late, guys? Number one. Number two, can we give the reason why Niles is not here? He's filming Ghosts. If anybody loves Ghosts on CBS, Paramount. Season 4 just started last night, which was Thursday the 17th, I believe. So go out and check it out. It's on Paramount. He's filming an episode again today. He's one of the basement ghosts on Ghosts. And my computer's acting up. Am I still there, guys?
Yeah. You're here.
All right,
you're here.
Something popped up on my computer. So go check out Nigel in Ghosts. It's a fantastic show, great sitcom. It just reminds you of what sitcoms used to be like back in the day, right? Like, so it's like anyone that we all grew up watching sitcoms. It's that vibe. So go check it out. And for me, I'm doing. Listen, we just talked a little bit about it off camera. We'll talk a little bit about it in a few minutes. We don't really talk much baseball until October.
It is, is the exact month we're in.
Which is the exact month we're in.
For those who may not have known.
I don't even know where I'm at anymore, to be honest with you. I had a rough night last night. Someone may have to talk me off the ledge. You think I'd be used to this kind of stuff, being a Jet fan, and being a Knicks fan for all those years before they got good. But yeah, it was rough last night.
Nigel!
Yeah!
You're from the set.
How we doing, my man? Nigel, you got to get back to me too. We got to talk about the Toronto. If you're definitely going to come down for a Raptor Magic game, so we'll talk about that. I'll reach out to you a little later. But yeah, so somebody might have to talk me off the ledge. Yankees disappointed me last night. Felt like 0-4. But we'll get into that later.
That's all right. Don't worry, we will talk. Don't worry, you'll be coming down for that ledge. Caleeb, what's going on?
All good, brother. You know what I'm saying? Glad Nigel got a real job out there working. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm good. I'm just excited. It was Dodgers smashed the Mets, and I wanted to see a better series there. I'm glad there was a home run last night. I didn't want to see just an ass whooping for them. It's just make it interesting. So I don't have a dog in the fight. I could care less. I'm not a Dodgers fan, not a Mets fan, not a Yankee fan, not a Guardians fan. I love the Indians, though, with Ricky Vaughn.
Wild thing?
Ricky Vaughn and Pedro Serrano. You know what I'm talking about? What y'all talking about? Roger Dorn, the greatest shortstop of all time. But I digress.
I think he's a third baseman, actually. But
was he? He might have been. Yeah.
I think he's a third baseman. But
yeah. You know what? You might be right. You might be right. Because they might have switched him in the second one. It doesn't matter. The point is this: he's still my favorite player. He's my favorite NBA of all time.
There you go.
Outside of that, though, I'm great. I'm just excited to be here and knock this thing out.
I hear that. Speaking about getting knocked out, the Broncos played the Saints last night.
Is that what it was?
It was pretty bad. I will not lie. We've seen Sean Payton's defense destroy veterans, and Spencer Rattler is not a vet. This was just his second career game played. We had some picks, we had some fumbles, we had a smackdown. Did you guys watch the game?
No.
I was at work, so I watched it once the Yankee game was over. At work, we switched it on the bar TV, and I got to watch it for the most part. Are we surprised they weren't up to task? I mean, but on the other side, you also had a quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of
take that in, right? And then Spencer got rattled. You know what I mean? The Rattler got rattled. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? Like,
but the other side also had a rookie quarterback, so we can't really,
No, it's different though. Bo Nix is first team reps.
Fair enough.
Since the beginning of the season, I highly doubt Mr. Rattler was getting first team reps, right?
But here's the thing: do we remember when
Bo Nix beat a 4-time MVP?
But here's the thing too. Do we remember after week 2 when people were saying New Orleans might be the Super Bowl team from the NFC because they put up like 90 something points. See you, Nigel. We'll see you next week and good luck with the show. Remember after week 2 we were putting them in the Super Bowl because they scored 90 something points in 2 weeks and they haven't won since.
That's right. Injuries.
that was my James Wudi impression. They haven't won since.
But it's injuries though. You know what I mean? Like they lost their quarterback. Derek Carr isn't the greatest.
Only last week though. Only this week. They only lost what this week, right?
No, it's been 2 weeks. And
has it?
Well, this is Rattler's second game, right? So
right. And I think isn't Olave hurt?
He's been hurt. My fantasy team
Olave's hurt. I think even my boy Shaheed. Like, come on,
he's down for the year.
MCL, yeah, he's down for the year.
Like, come on, man. Like their most potent weapons outside of Kamara is hurt. Even Taysom Hill is hurt. They can't even give it to their big white boy to run it in, run the sweeps. Like, come on, man. That's part of. He's an integral part of their offense. Remember how Cordell Stewart used to be with the Steelers way back in the day? Mm-hmm. It's like that, and so it's just you got to come on, man. Give him a break. I think so. And plus, Sean Payton got a chip on his shoulder. I ain't gonna say the man is a dickhead, but
no, he is.
He's dickish.
Definitely.
Listen, the man was suspended for a year for headhunting on defense. I mean, no,
it wasn't him. It wasn't him. That was somebody else.
He knew that. Williams. Yeah, but you know how it goes. He knows that.
No, I understand it. I wouldn't doubt it. They tore Brett Favre's ass up in that. You remember that game?
Yep.
Oh, I felt bad for him, how they was hitting him. But that was because they was getting him. They said, no, y'all don't know. He's stealing money from black kids in Mississippi. He's definitely feeling it now. Back for what he did to the Cold Crush. They was like, they're like, we getting him. That's what we didn't know. That's what really was going on.
Was it going on way back then?
No, I don't. I'm just thinking. Like they were saying, this is what he gonna do. This is his future moves. We getting him karma now.
They got that crystal ball out.
They came back from the DeLorean.
He's sending waist down pitches to trainers.
They were talking to Walter from the Spanish. Remember this Walter, the psychic from the Spanish channel?
Yeah, that's funny.
Do you guys remember him?
Funny.
Is he still with us? I think he's passed.
I don't know.
I think he's got to be 100 years old.
Sorry. Oh my God, you guys are tuned into the pop off. You guys are making me laugh right now. I got a question for you because we're gonna stick with the NFL. All right, enough of Sean Payton, dickish, whatever that. We're gonna talk about a team that me and Gene know pretty well, the Jets. Right, probably the biggest news in the NFL this week is that Davante Adams became a Jet.
Yep.
And then a few hours later, it was reported that the Bills got a wide receiver of their own in Amari Cooper. So the question is, who makes the bigger impact for their team? Is it Amari to the Bills, Davante to the Jets? Reactions. We'll start with you, Caleb.
I think it's going to be Amari to the Bills, than the Jets, because I think the Jets' issue is more internal with other things as opposed to just gameplay. When you saw, as I call him, King Allen, what he's doing with a high school. Well, I'm not, no disrespect. Kincaid is for real, but come on. And he's able to still do what he does. Now, I don't think that was the reason why they won. The Jets beat themselves. The missed field goals and all of that. Like, they should have won that game. They did not. But I think now that he has a true number one who's not injured, barring injury, I think that's going to be a bigger impact for them because the Bills feel like they're just players down what's needed as opposed to an emotional thing, a mental thing. Like, the Jets are trying to reestablish belief. Now, I think Davante is going to have an impact, but I don't think it will be as big as everybody's acting. Like, that fixes everything. The Jets are back to the Super Bowl. I don't think it's that.
Gene, your rebuttal.
So it's not so much a rebuttal because I agree with a lot of what Caleb said. I look at it this way. I think to say who it impacts more, it depends if you want to say offense or wins or because I feel like in certain ways, I feel like both teams are great fits for both players are great fits for each team, right? Devontae Adams comes to a team where he pushes Garrett Wilson to be the number 2. We're in the slot. Alan Lazard bounces down a little bit too. He's got a great familiarity with Rodgers, but also you got a guy. We said this in our group text. You got a guy coming to Buffalo. He's not your typical diva wide receiver, right? He's not. He's kind of a guy that stays quiet, which was the difference between him and Diggs. He's not going to be the guy that's arguing on the sidelines if he's not getting the ball with Josh Allen. So he's not going to put that pressure to get the ball. But I also think what they needed is that he's more of a possession guy. I think they needed more of a downfield threat. So I do think that he's not necessarily the right piece that they should have got. Again, he's going to make any offense better. I'm not saying he's not. And he's not going to put any pressure on Allen. He's great in that sense. But I think what they needed to do is go out and get more of a deep threat. Now, maybe it pushes Shakir to be that deep threat. Now he can slide over and be the guy that they can, because he's a speedster. So maybe maybe that works in that field. So maybe that might be fine. But and that might be why that works. So I think both teams are actually going to be way better. And Caleeb is 100% right. Unless and I said this in the group text, unless he can kick, he can block, it doesn't matter what Devontae Adams is coming over to do. The offense is still horrendous amount of penalties. They still can't, they still can't get out of their own way with these penalties. It negated a touchdown last week with, I believe it was Braylon scored a touchdown and it was called back. And where I didn't put it on the kicker, the game against Denver, because it shouldn't have come down to it 10-9. This was a game where, all right, we drove them down about 2 or 3 times, chip shot field goals for the most part, and he missed them. My problem is what we should have did is, this is a little off topic, but I'm seeing other teams sign kickers this week. I've seen 2 or 3 teams sign kickers this week. How come we didn't? It's not work. And I love Greg Zuerlein for what he did last year when we were horrible. Well, we weren't horrible last year, but like when we had a lot of problems last year, he was the guy that you could count on last year. All right, maybe a little bit. But Wudi, was he a guy we could count on last year? We loved him coming into this season.
He was our leading scorer.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I loved him coming into this season. But we should have known there was something not right in preseason. But I think we were giving the benefit of the doubt. He was great last year. This is just preseason. He'll be fine once the season starts. But there's something not right with him now. And whether it's an injury he's not telling us about, whatever it is, we got to get to the bottom of it. But we need to sign a kicker. So it doesn't matter what Devontae Adams really brings to the table unless we fix those other issues. I think they both, and so long story short, I went all the way around to get to this. I think they both will have a great impact. I don't think one will have a bigger impact than the other. I think they both will have a tremendous impact on our team. I think that we need to fix the kicking and the penalties if it's really gonna work for the Jets, though.
Well, two of the issues. One is coaching, because that's the penalty thing, right? So, but you have an interim head coach, so you got a coach who don't know if he's really gonna have a job. How hard do you work if you don't really know if your job is, if you're gonna be working Friday, right? So they tell you give everything you can on Tuesday, but but Friday, like, come on. So,
but to be fair, he's gonna want another job later too, though.
The insecurity in that itself is part of reason why the coaching isn't great. Then so he's fighting for the job. The other people there are fighting for the job. They want to be the head coach, right? So it's like it's creating these things. Then you bring in a dude in Devontae Adams, phenomenal with Aaron. Great. But it's just them. I see Devontae. I didn't see Lazard and them with Aaron on the Pat McAfee thing. I don't like Pat on ESPN. I think he should have said I don't like his show. But anyway, it's too much of a good old boy vibe. I feel like they can't wait to say, like, as soon as they cut, they be like, "Nigger!" It just sounds funny.
Yo, I feel the same exact dude. But there's something about him I don't like. I get it.
I know. I'm being honest. But that's the side. He always gets Aaron. They're good friends, whatever. But I didn't see Lazard in them. It wasn't the wide receiver core at Aaron's house. It's them two. That helps create issue, because what happens is you bring somebody else in. You think Wilson and Lazard are just, oh no, they're like, yo, man, I've been here. I've been out here balling, trying to do this stuff and that. Now everything is great because all right.
But it's going to free them up, though. It's going to free them up.
No, it will. But just like the WNBA, they don't care that Caitlin brings in more money, that everybody gets to eat. They mad that everybody's saying it's because of her. And it's her. Like, they like, man, you saw Inescu, she bussing. You think, man, she's like, man, Listen, we've been here, right? So again, I'm just saying, not saying it's that, but that's a major possibility. Like, these are human beings. These are athletes. They're the best from where they were from forever. So now somebody comes in and is gonna now all the shine. Ooh, you think they just like that? It'd be different if Aaron was bringing them in. He should have had them all there. He should have had all of them there. Even though we all know his relationship with Devontae, we get it, right? But at the same time, you want to include those boys. You don't want them to feel excluded, like, oh, it's just us. Oh, it's us, right? Because then, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? You forget, this is not the time where the team is important anymore. Players care about themselves and their pockets.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's true.
So it's like, oh, okay, well, cool. Ooh,
Well,
alligator
I think for that specific moment, it wouldn't really have made sense, like, for them all. Like, if it was like, oh,
no.
They trade, specific.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying the media on it, on the news, Sports Center said Devontae's staying with Aaron right now. Right?
But
like, come on, man.
Wasn't there something? And Wudi, you tell me, you're the Jet fan too, right? We're both Jet fans. When the camera peels out and all of a sudden there's Devontae flipping the ball, it was almost like a WWE like hype vignette, right? Like, like all of a sudden, like, oh, who's he gonna get to be his
tag team partner?
Tag team partner. All of a sudden, the camera pans out and here's Roman Reigns. Like, it had that vibe to where it had to be just them two in the Pat McAfee show. It had to, because it fit perfectly the way they did it. It was such a hype.
But that helps Pat in his thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, though. But I get
the
what
organization that could actually hurt it. You know
I get what you're saying, but for that instance, I
absolutely get what you're saying, and you're right, and it could have been that. All I'm saying is, when the Sports Center is saying that you're staying at the house with Aaron, working on the plays, going over the playbook, it should have been you want those other guys there too. You want the other two receivers because they're gonna free Devontae up too.
True.
Just as much.
Listen, it's not like he's coming to a slouch receiver room.
Right.
Lazard is tied for the lead in touchdown receptions for receivers, and Garrett Wilson's in second place. Is second is for receptions.
That's my point. That's why you want to make sure you keep that intact. Again, it's not about the physical, it's about the emotional. You're dealing with men that are emotional. They are athletes. They care about everything, image, the way things look, what Stephen A says, what's on YouTube, what you know what I mean? Like, they care about all of that stuff, and it has an impact. That's all I'm saying. Aaron, and I'm not saying he's not, because who knows? The news could be like, oh, we don't care about that. Who cares if they're all together? We just care about them. Could be. But if it's not, I think that could be part of the problem that could create an issue with such, because you always see teams that are real stacked. Look at Dallas. CeeDee Lamb cussing Dak out on the sideline.
Wait,
do
we think CeeDee Lamb let that ball get picked and was kind of like, not my problem?
When?
I didn't see the play.
Was it on the interception in the end zone?
Which one? The last game?
Yeah,
Dak's been throwing them all season, so I need to.
All right, the interception against Detroit in the end zone. I felt like he could have broke that up. It was kind of like,
Oh, listen. I got to check it out, but he does not like Dak. They do not like each other. You can just tell, because anybody you like, you don't talk to like that. Like, you do not cuss them out on national TV, the camera in your face, right? That's what I'm talking about. And so, even though I know we're talking about the Jets, but I'm just saying, when you have those kinds of things, it can create that. You don't want Lazard to check out. All right, cool. It's Devontae's show. Get me up out of here, man.
Especially with the bounce back season.
I don't think Lazard is gonna say that, but I definitely
No. He won't say it. And it won't happen this season. But what I'm saying is, you can watch it and you can see. You can see.
Another reason too is
Garrett is definitely that's the because he got him in the, like, he came this season. Every Jet fan and his coaches like wanted him gone. It's like, this contract he's stuck. I was one of them. I agree. I was the only person.
You
it was
were.
me,
I'll give you credit. You were credit.
Mama Lazard. Allen himself didn't even know for sure. And his pops definitely wanted him gone. Everybody, so it was just me and Mama Lazard. We said, no, I think this could work. And now that he's had the resurgence and he's back with Aaron, he's already been Devontae's, I can't even say Robin because he wasn't like on that level. He was like, he wasn't even Alfred. I don't even know who he was in this analogy, but he's already done this with Aaron and Devontae. He's cool with this. I think he is happy to just be on the team.
I agree.
Be wanted by the team. But Garrett, that might be a different
He's
story.
not been it yet, but you could tell he could be, with the right amount of stats and the right amount of numbers, he could be that diva receiver that causes problems on the side. Like you can see
that money,
you can see it bubbling, and this might hurt the money a little bit. He might be like, he might not put up the numbers.
That's my point. Again, that's why Aaron, you got to bring them all in. You got to bring them all in. Everybody's coming to the house.
Well, what do you do? Do you put him in the slot? Where do you put Garrett on the field?
Yeah, well, they both can go in the slot. Like Devontae will have snap. Like they're not going to be set in the same positions.
No, I know that, but generally, who's going to be the slot?
I would say, Garrett. I would say Garrett and Devontae very similar. You know, if it's Garrett 35% of the time or like 40% of the time, Devontae is 35, like something like that.
Okay.
And then the other 25,
maybe a little Gibson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they're definitely stacked though. They're stacked on offense. They got weapons. They got.
I mean, and so to answer your point about the kicking, that's what I said. Like that, I put that on the day of. Right, I had a podcast with Boy Green, and I was like, "Yo, can he kick? Can he block?" The kicking, honestly, the whole point of Devontae is so that they can finish drives. So they shouldn't be kicking as much. That hopefully does not help the run defense whatsoever. And Tyron Smith is the name that I think deserves to be put on blast. He is the person that had the holding on the Braylon Allen touchdown, and he allowed 2 sacks on Aaron that night. You know, he has been atrocious, and unfortunately, Devontae's presence doesn't answer those issues. So if we're asking me, give me Amari to the Bills as the bigger move. I think this fits them like a glove. Unlike OJ, this glove does fit. So I think Amari and the Bills, like, I mean, it's the best thing for my fantasy team because I had Amari. I was like, oh my God,
I haven't too, and I haven't started him once this year.
You haven't started him once. That's crazy.
who do I have on that team? Because I have like 5 teams. I think I have.
Yeah, I guess you must have. I mean, to not have him starting any game, that's crazy.
He hasn't started.
But you got to start him now because now he's with Josh and all that type of stuff. So now this, Nigel, he's doing his thing, right? Like you said, filming Ghosts. So I'm very sad that we won't get his opinion on this next topic because for the first time in a little bit of time, 2 of our teams are going head to head. It's the Jets and the Steelers. I wanted to get his take. This is Russ Cook, and you already know I'm ready to fight to the death about Russell Wilson and what he's about to do. Not this week, but after this week, after he gets through this tough Jets game, it's gonna be a battle. But yes, let's talk about this game. Jets Steelers Sunday night, prime time, Sunday night football. Caleb, what do you see unfolding?
I see it's gonna be whether it's just the rhythm that because the Steelers need it right on offense. Defensively, they're straight, so it's gonna be a good test for the Jets. Right, like to test them out. It's gonna be because they should be able to pick apart the defense. The problem is they can't block for Aaron, so it's gonna be hard to keep TJ off them cheeks. You know what I mean? It's gonna be looking real baby oilish out there. You're gonna be all over, slipping and sliding, scrambling and scraping. You know what I mean? But say they're able to keep that at bay. I think it should be a good test for the receivers to start getting in rhythm, start to feel each other out to try to make this thing work. But the Steelers now offensively, they got a lot of weapons as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how well Russ cooks. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's got it. And we saw Fields, and it's sad. I had to see it. He admitted himself. He said, I just haven't been playing good enough. Like I didn't play good enough. That's maturity, but that sucks to have to admit that to yourself. So now Russ is there, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. If he can get Pickens involved, if he can get that I think they're running Najee, is that his name? Najee what?
Yeah,
Najee
Harris.
Yeah, Najee Harris. Like if he can get that stuff going, they can be nasty. So his experience is gonna have to come into play. It's gonna be interesting to see. So I'm really looking to see how both offenses look, because the Jets got a top 5 defense. I don't care what nobody says. Overall, they got a strong defense, right? At least 7, right? You can't, you know what I mean? But I would say 5. And then the Steelers got a top 10 at minimum defense. I'll definitely.
I think they might have top 3, to be honest.
Okay. You know what I mean? The only reason why I didn't is because the only reason why I didn't is because they didn't come through on Dallas when Dallas don't even have a running game. They let the Cowboys still win, even though because they won the game. Fields won that game. All they had to do was get a stop, and they couldn't. Right against a one-dimensional team. So that's my only little right. And it was in weather, and you couldn't. You know what I mean? So so that's my knock against the Steelers defense. But they are good, so it's going to be a good test. But they were getting at Dak a lot, so it's going to be interesting to see how they get at Aaron, because he cannot move as well as Dak can. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I do expect the Jets to win this game. If they don't, I think they're in trouble.
They might already be in trouble, but
no. But now there's hope because Devontae is there. And it's like, okay.
Exactly.
And if they don't win this game, because the Steelers are switching quarterbacks, like you're changing the rhythm, you're changing the cadence of the call, the voice, everything, right? So that's, and so it's going to be a real test. But I expect the Jets to win this game. I actually do.
Gene, how do you feel? Should we tell Johnny Boy to turn his crown upside down? Tell us about the Jets and the Steelers.
Jets and Steelers. Jets are going to whoop that ass. 31-13.
Damn. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
31-13. I'm calling it right now. 31-13. I don't expect Devontae to do much, but I want him on the field to at least be a decoy at minimum.
Why don't you expect him to do much?
Because knowing the system, I guess he probably knows the system a tad because of.
Bro, what are you talking? He knows everybody there. Rodgers, Hackett, he knows everybody.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's still coming off the injury and whatnot, which may have been more of like a hold in. Might have been a little bit of a hold in. I get it. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, even if he can't, really, I mean to say is, even if he can't go that well, you put him out there as a decoy and let it.
He's fine.
Go. Yeah,
he's fine. That was a ploy. He wasn't playing until they traded.
I don't think he was ever injured.
Which is on the Raiders too. If I plan on trading him, I don't want him playing either, because I don't want him getting hurt before I can make that trade.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was mutual. That's why he said the same thing about the Raiders in his first interview. He was like, I feel like I don't want to say I'm happy, but I'm good here, and I think it's good for the Raiders, and we can move on. Like, he said all the right stuff. He knows what that was.
Yeah,
but
he's a pro.
Here's the thing. He's played in a Nathaniel Hackett offense before. It's what Aaron loves. It's why Nathaniel's got a damn job, right? Even though he was downgraded, he's still employed because Aaron wants him there. So what Devontae is coming in is not difficult. It's not an offense he don't know about.
It's still his offense. He's just not calling the plays.
Right. And Devontae knows it.
Yeah.
Aaron's going to say, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm looking for the annexation of Puerto Rico. And Devontae's like, oh, okay, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people know about that. That's my play. That's my play from the Giants. Y'all don't, the little Giants, y'all know the annexation of Puerto Rico. Oh, man.
Is that the Ed O'Neill vehicle?
Yeah.
And Rick
Moranis is his little brother, and they play.
Yeah.
Yeah. The annexation.
Ed O'Neill's the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, but anyway, the point is that they can do that. So I don't expect Devontae. I expect him to come in balling, to be honest, and he's going to draw a lot of attention. So I expect Wilson and Lazard to have a hell of a game, and I also expect Mr. Brees, Mr. Hall, to be out there wiggling. You know what I'm saying? Because the run game is so important for this team to get started. It takes pressure off of Aaron. It takes pressure off of those receivers, and those receivers are ridiculously good. You know what I mean? And if you give them time, I mean, Aaron, where the defense, they can't just peel their ears back and come get them because Brees will hit them in the mouth. Man, listen. That is what they need. So hopefully they establish the run. And if they do so, they should win this game. I'm
going to say this too. This is the minus the offensive line. Take them out of it. When you're talking about just position players, it's the most talented team the Jets have ever had in their history. If you look at that receiver room, that's the best receiver room they've ever had. Rodgers might still be the best quarterback, even though he's 40 years old. And those two running backs are once they can get going, could be all world. So like this is the most talented offense they've ever had, minus the line. I get the line's an issue. Although I like some of the young pieces on that line.
They're not bad run blocking. Like the line is.
I feel like they've been.
Here's my thing. I feel like the play calling has been bad because Nathaniel Hackett has, he's called a lot of motion where Brees is supposed to run behind the fullback, and they don't have a real fullback. They have tight ends, and they have
they'll bring in a defensive tackle to come in. I don't need to see Solomon Thomas. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. They had a good fullback on the roster in preseason. They cut him.
They did. Yeah.
I'm blanking on what's his name,
but Nick Bawden.
Yeah, that's it.
But
when the Jersey Shore was sitting on.
The one game of Todd Downing, right? We've seen him actually rely on the actual offensive linemen and Tippmann, AVT. They were all getting up to the second level. John Simpson, the interior offensive line, run blocking. Like it makes me feel good. Honestly, Steelers, Jets, you guys both know I'm the first one to spit out that Jet Kool-Aid. All right, I'm not gonna just hype them up just because I root for them. I'm not going to put them on a pedestal. I think both of these teams right here, right now, I don't know two teams that are more motivated to win this game. Obviously, Russ, right? You got people like the people I'm sharing this show with right now calling him washed. He's old. He sucks. The Steelers were 4-2, right? So it seems like an odd move. They're 4-2. Why are you switching QB? There's a lot for him to prove. If they lose, automatically every single outlet will be like, Russ sucks. Like, why did you do this? So there's a lot of pressure for the Steelers to win. On the other side, the Jets, right? This was supposed to be a Super Bowl type season. They're 2-4. They stink. They fired their coach. Now Devontae Adams is a Jet. What more excuses does Aaron Rodgers need? What more? All right, we said fire Saleh. They did. Fire Hackett. He was demoted. Throws an interception. It's Mike Williams' fault. Bring in Devontae. There is no more excuses. If he can't win right now, or that 2-minute drill and throws another interception, we're out of excuses. So the motivation here is high on both sides. I'm expecting this to be a very exciting Sunday night game. I got 23-17, right? The Steelers are up, and Aaron has that final drive. For the third game in a row, Aaron has a last-minute drive to try to win the game. And because Devontae's there, I got them getting that game-winning touchdown, 24-23 Jets. That is my prediction.
Wow, that's a great one. Hopefully that is that. But I'll tell you this. They got one of the easiest schedules left in the NFL out of all teams. So if they're like it's there. I think they have the Bills again that they have to play. That's funny. I see you, Johnny. And there's one more that's like a hard one that I forgot. The Texans. They got the Texans. That's gonna be good.
That's Halloween
night. Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Oh, you're going to that game?
Yeah, I'll be in New York. I'm leaving the day before, and I'll be up there for about a week.
All right, let's go.
So there you go. So again, we will see. But I hear you, Wudi. Like that would be dope. I would love to see that. I would love to see Devontae catch a game-winning touchdown, or because he's there, somebody like Wilson or Lazard gets it because they double team him in the end zone, and this guy is able to come open. But we shall see.
My guy, Johnny Boy said if they lose, now they're just gonna blame it on the tight end. Like, yo, bring in.
I agree, but I feel like they're trying to put in I feel like Conklin's not getting the reps that he used to get, and I don't know if that's because they're trying to give the kid more reps, but I don't know. But I'll tell you what. Okay.
No, I was just gonna say I think they're both solid. They're both solid, but Aaron is very like trust oriented. He's not throwing the ball if you don't 100% trust you. So I think that's kind of part of the issue as well.
Yep. I know this is on the docket, but I'm just curious, just because they've basically said that they told him to go out and find a trade partner. So obviously, Son Reddick is not going to play for the Jets. Real quick, Wudi, do you think it's? I mean, what's the chance? What's the chance of happening? 10%?
I would say it's more like 55 or like 51.
You think he's getting 51%? You think there's more likely to play for the Jets than not?
Yes, actually.
I think there's 0% chance for the Jets, but here's what I would also
do. I
do.
thought that this whole time, but
did something come out yesterday that I don't know about?
No. Well, with Drew, right? He hired Drew as his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, and then they were granted permission to seek a trade for a short window. Keyword, short window. The reason for that is because they're looking to see if anybody in the league is willing to give him the contract that he wants. Because Joe Douglas already made their offer, right? And CAA was like,
and if they don't see that offer somewhere, they're like, we might as well just
exactly. So
you don't think that bridge is burned a little too much, but they're going to be like, all right, let's just go somewhere else. I don't want to.
No, I think he's ready. He wants to play.
What I would do is
edge rusher.
Well, let's be fair. The kid's played well. McDonald has played well. 7 sacks.
You need more than one.
Sacks I understand that, but he's taken some of the pressure off. 7 sacks in 6 games is pretty good for a kid that we didn't expect anything from.
It's solid. I don't want Michael Clemens on the field.
And it's a shame because I really at one point in his career I loved Michael Clemens. But here's the thing too. I would never trade at this point. I haven't had him for half the season. If he's not going to play for me, I would trade him. But everyone said, "Oh, they're going to have to trade him for like cents on the dollar." No, I would get exactly what I traded for him back. And if I don't, well, I might as well. I'll let him sit still. I let him sit this whole time. I might as well let him sit still. If I don't get exactly what I traded for him, which I believe was, what was it again? A third and a conditional second?
Yeah, third round.
If I don't get that back, I'm not trading him. He could sit the same way he's been sitting for 2 weeks. I don't need that. Go. Sit your ass at home. I'm not trading him for a 5th or a 6th.
You're saying if he showed up to the practice facility like, yo, I'm ready to play, you're gonna say turn around.
No. Come to the Jets. I'm saying I would never trade him for anything less than I traded him for.
Okay, got you.
Like I wouldn't trade him for anything less than I traded for him. Is what I mean to say.
Got you. Yes.
If unless I get exactly like I wouldn't trade him for cents on the dollar just to get something back. No, you could sit because you're gonna be under my contract. If he doesn't play this year, guess what? He's still a Jet next year.
Well, let's actually bring that into something that we do have on the docket today. The Lions, right, lost Aiden Hutchinson. I don't know if you guys saw the nature of that injury, devastating injury. We were just talking about Will McDonald, being second in sacks. Well, Aiden was first. He was having a dominant season with his hometown Detroit Lions. It's actually been beautiful to see, but something that was not beautiful was that injury he suffered. He's out for the season. That leg injury.
You're a Minnesota fan.
Well, the Lions, do you think that they should just trek it as is, just play for Hutch like how they say they will? Or should they make a trade? Hassan Reddick, Max Crosby been kind of talking crazy, after the Raiders traded Devontae. He's tired of rebuilding. He's been rebuilding his entire career as a Raider. What do you think the Lions should do? Go back to you, Caleb.
I think that's the perfect place for Reddick. Like to go for the Lions. For one, he'll be way cheaper than a Crosby, right? That is going to cost a whole lot more money. So when Aiden does come back, you're going to have that. But it, it could be that AJ Hawk, Clay Matthews duo like Green Bay used to have. It's crazy. And Madden, you'd be two white boys with blonde hair just wrecking the shop on defense. I'd be like, I hate them. But I think Reddick would be better because you could get him for cheaper as of now, because Max is going to demand big money. Reddick will too, but even his big money is going to be less than Crosby because he has less things to show. Right? He'll get more money than what the Jets are probably offering, but it'll be less than what Crosby would ask for and Hutch. But if they do it, I mean, if you might as well go at, if you're the Lions, everybody want to play for you right now because y'all look like, to me, they look like the Super Bowl favorite out the NFC, like hands down. Like it looks like it's
Minnesota's not even lost a game, have they?
Huh?
Minnesota. I mean, that's
they play Sunday. They play Sunday. This is gonna be the game. Minnesota and the Lions. I think the Lions.
Last I looked, Darnold is still the quarterback there, and he's the MVP.
Hey, I get it, but I take the Lions. I would take the Lions over the Vikings, but now because Hutch is gone, because Hutch was a major part of that. They definitely need that. So if I was the Lions, I'd reach out for Myles Garrett. I'd reach out because you could be thinking like, look, let us get that other side to lock with Hutch.
Yeah.
So now we got two nasty, oh my gosh, coming at you, which is like Pepper Johnson, Lawrence Taylor back in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? That Tecmo Bowl duo. See, a lot of people don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm talking about? But that was nasty on the Giants. That 86, shit. That defense with them two.
No, that wasn't Pepper Johnson. Who was it? It was because Pepper Johnson was inside.
Oh, that's right. He was. It was.
Who was the outside linebacker of that team?
Wait a minute. Oh, what was his name? I don't know. I'm blanking, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But the point is this: it's having those ends. It was like when the Browns had Clowney and Garrett on opposite sides. Like that creates just a nasty pressure, right? When it was Bosa and Chase Young. Right, He wasn't at that level, but Chase was. He was a problem.
The Chargers, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa.
Yeah, man, it's like those kinds of duos. So if I was the Lions, I would look to shore that up, and I think Hassan Reddick has that. The problem is he showed he's got a little bit of the diva thing where, no, and I say little because he feels disrespected. Once you feel disrespected. All the gloves are off. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like he showed a little bit of thing where Crosby is upset because he feels like I'm giving everything and y'all just selling the farm out from underneath me, right? That's different than I don't understand why everybody's so upset that I'm improving myself. You know what I'm saying? He's getting his Ricky Vaughn on. It's just that's a thing. So, but to say it, I think the Lions should go get Reddick. I think it'd be easier. You could get him quick. And I think he would make an immediate impact on that defense.
Can I sidebar for 1 second? I think we need to set up a drinking game with how many times Caleb brings up that movie, because
Major League, the greatest sports movie of all time.
Major League makes its presence listen. Stock goes up because Caleb mentions that movie.
It's the best sports movie.
Either a line
get a sponsorship.
Definitely sports comedy. Come on.
Oh no, it is.
Come on, are you kidding me?
Well,
Every time it comes on, I watch.
Mighty Ducks is up there.
Every time.
No, Mighty Ducks is great too, but it's like
Slapshot?
that movie. Major, come on, man. I love it. Like I can watch.
When you hear a fun factoid about sports movies, I just read this somewhere. Do you know, and I can't remember what team it was. Was it the Browns? I forget what team it was. But there was a team that after watching, because he had to train for the role, what's his name? Who's from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? The one that became famous.
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves. The one guy that actually did stuff. Keanu Reeves actually he had a All right, I'm sorry to the other guy that no one knows his name. Actually, it's Alex Winter. I don't know how I know.
Yeah, and he played Margot in Lost Boys. He played Marco in Lost Boys. That was my boy right there. They killed him in the cave.
Yep. Fair enough.
Like some bitches.
while he was asleep.
While he was asleep, that's what I'm saying.
But Keanu Reeves had to train with. So he was training with a team, and again, I don't remember the team, but he trained so well and proved to be so athletic that they actually wanted to offer him a shot at coming to camp and trying out for that team. And I just don't remember, was it the Browns or the Falcons, whoever it was. Keanu Reeves from that movie almost joined the NFL. He turned it down because he wanted to do more movies. But how funny would that have been?
That would have been hilarious.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there's some De Niro has a nice amateur boxing record. There's
great
some
movie. That was a great movie.
Oh yeah.
They out here, the method acting. But let's because I want to touch on the NBA before the season starts. We got to make our predictions so that all year we can go back to this episode, this moment, and say, hey, well, before the year I said it was going to be these two teams. So I'm actually start off. I'm gonna start off with the official NBA Finals of 2025, the matchup and the winner.
We do got to get Nigel's take on it by next episode. We got to remember to ask him next episode.
1,000%. I got the Denver Nuggets. All right, people sleeping on this team. Michael Porter Jr. His head was not right, but all of that will be fixed, and they have the deepest. There is no four that is bigger than Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. To move the role players around, Christian Braun, all these different guys. But that foundation, there's nothing more rock solid than that. Give me the Nuggets over the Celtics in 6.
Wow.
So the Celtics going back.
They going back. Unfortunately, they're deep. I mean, they can suffer like multiple injuries and still be a fantastic team.
Yeah.
So I unfortunately don't see anybody in the East beating them. I wanted to give it to the Bucks actually, but Doc Rivers is their coach, so can't do that.
He doesn't like for him to work past the second round. It's just too long of a season. Like he'd love to. But it gets hot out, and it's funny. It's funny you should say that. And Wudi loves to call me a homer, so he already thinks I'm taking the Knicks. He already thinks. But last week I didn't take Brunson. I took the guy who I say is the most overrated player in the league, and I think for the MVP I said Tatum because I think the league wants him to be the guy. But I have the same exact pick as you. I have the Denver Nuggets coming back to the finals and beating the Boston Celtics.
Wow.
I've had this conversation. It's funny because I work with everybody has tuned into the show. I don't think Caleb's actually been on the show with him, but my little buddy Rob that I work with has joined us a few times, and he's a huge Celtics fan. And I said, listen, because I keep teasing him. We go back and forth on Knicks, Celtics. And I said, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, but you can't ever tell anybody because I'll never admit it. Because I always talk shit about Knicks are going to the finals. I said, listen, I do think the Celtics are going to the finals. All right, so just don't say nothing because I would never admit it. But for the show, I gotta be accurate.
Nice.
Celtics are going to the finals, but they are going to lose to Denver.
Caleb,
so I think
what's interesting? Like my mom, she loves the Celtics, so she definitely thinks that they're gonna be back and win it. But I agree with you as far as Denver is concerned. I think I couldn't believe when I saw them lose to the Wolves like that, right? Because I felt they should beat them. But I don't think the Wolves get back now that they lost Cat. I get that they got your boys from the Knicks, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Mavericks just had a magical season last year. I don't see them getting back. They might lose to the Lakers. You know what I mean? Kawhi's not playing again.
Oh my!
So I think it's pretty much open for the Nuggets again, barring injury, because the injury to one of those four changes the dynamics of everything.
Fair.
Which in an 82 game season, injuries are part of it. So your team shores against them, like you talk about with the Celtics, but I do see that I don't see anybody beating them out because I want to see Giannis and them. I just don't. They don't have enough firepower. Miami's not going to be back. The Knicks is the biggest threat right? The Knicks is the biggest threat. And I don't think the Knicks are deep enough to compete with them. But anything can happen. But I expect to see the Celtics back, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Knicks, because they can win on some luck. Like you just never know.
Magical run.
I'm just saying.
They
Because
do
the Pacers
have.
could end up doing something. The Pacers are nasty. They had injuries last season that kept, I'm just saying, because the Pacers are a bunch of dogs, right? Like, there's a lot of really good players that aren't stars that can be a problem for you when you think you're just supposed to win. See, the Celtics got a little bit of that right now. Right? We supposed to win. You see that Boston on your face. Get out the way. You see the leprechaun move. But when you don't, that could be an issue where they could get surprised. And hey, best haircut in the game. But sometimes he get a little shaky. Brown is something different.
I love Brown.
God forbid anything happen to Brown. Let Brown go down. Ooh, that rhymes. Let Brown go down. It's gonna be a different
trouble in Tinseltown.
He's the dog. He's the dog on that court with the Celtics.
Changes everything.
Yeah, but they got multiple dogs. Like Drew is a dog.
Yeah, but he can't score like Brown though. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, Drew is solid on defense and all that, but he can't score the ball like Brown can. See, that's Brown true. Makes up when Tatum can't or when Tatum doesn't. Right? That's a big thing. You need if Brown wasn't there last season, they lose. They don't win the championship. He hit that shot. Without that shot, they was done. They was gonna lose the game. Tatum blew it. He missed the free throw, missed the shot. I remember I was like, oh, this is tragic. You know what I mean? Hey, so it hinges on Brown.
I do think that my thing is too with the Knicks is the way Rose has built this team has been, I think we can all say, has really just been like on point. There's times where we question what he's done for the Knicks, where we're like, but he's like when they didn't make the trade for I'm blanking. I can't think of his name. What's from Utah to Cleveland? Spider.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. We all like, why? What do you hold on to these picks for? Fuck these picks. Just make the trade. But we're a better team because of it. Because I don't think him and Jalen would have been able. They wouldn't have been able to play well together. I think the way they both need the ball, and so it wouldn't have worked that way. So there's things where he's held off. He's held his cards and not shown them. That I think he's really done it smartly. It wasn't an overnight thing. It took him some time. But we also got to remember, he still has more picks. So, we're talking about the depth. I don't think we're looking for another big name come trade deadline. But don't be surprised. He puts a couple of pieces on this team still that is going to add to the depth because we still have tradable pieces. So I really do think he's going.
No, he'll have to. That's what
I think, and I think he will, because I think he already knows that. I think he already knows that, and I think he already will. I think that's already in the game plan. I think he's just got to get to that point of the season and be like, all right, who's available? And there's going to be people available. We know that.
Always.
So there always is. So there's going to be people available. He doesn't need to swing for the fences with a big star because he's got his stars. He now needs to go and get, because when you talk about starting five, it's one of the best starting fives in the league.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So like let's call it what it is. They want, I know I'm a homer. It's still that's one of the best start. That's one of the best starting fives.
No, it is. There's not even a question.
You're not lying about that. That's real.
Yeah.
He needs to add those rotation pieces. Something what made the Knick teams in the 90s so dominant is they had that, they would deep. I think he needs to go get those role players. And I think he has every intention of doing so come midseason. So you're right. They could sneak up and surprise some people going on that run.
Like,
but until it happens, I have the Celtics.
And it happens every year. It happens every year in all sports, especially in football and basketball.
Yeah, and baseball.
Well, baseball too, but
Yankees were great at it in the 90s.
Because it's so long, you could get hurt and be out 6 months and still come back and make the playoffs. Like it's just, you know what I mean? Like it's different. But yes, you're right in baseball as well.
Also, speaking of baseball, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry.
Oh no, all I was gonna say, and because I definitely want to cover baseball, I know we gotta go very quickly. But the one thing I wanted to highlight in basketball realm, I know the group chat was popping a little bit. Did you guys see the shot? Sabrina Ionescu, the clutch three to win that game in Minnesota. Now the New York Liberty are one game away from the finals. Thoughts on the shot? First of all,
wait, can I ask you a question? Is the 3-point line the same as it is in the NBA, the WNBA?
I don't think it is.
Is it like the pay scale? It's not as much.
But she hit it from 28.
I mean, it's
Don't
not
be
as,
like that.
But
But she did hit it from 28. She did hit it from
yeah,
28.
that was a
not knowing the feet, it was like a Steph Curry shot. Like
because they say Steph pulls up from 30, right? And she pulled up from 28. So it's essentially
that's probably the same.
Yeah.
Ratio wise.
Ratio,
yeah. But I don't care if she pulls up from 5 feet. When you hit the shot that you need to win, it's a game winner.
Yeah.
Like it's still clutch. You know what I'm saying?
I thought that was a crazy shot though. I was mad. Like I was like, yo, what are you? That was literally because
here's the thing I'll say about it though.
She was like 4 for 14 before that shot.
Right, absolutely, which is crazy. But here's nothing to take away from nothing that she did, and this shouldn't. But what I mean is, it's a lot easier to pull the trigger when the game is tied. It's the last shot. You're going to overtime anyway.
Definitely.
Right? Versus down by a point.
Yeah.
Because if you pull up from 28 and you're only down a point, like that makes everybody go, right? Because somebody was open. I'm sure John Quayle was open. Somebody was open that you could have got that to get a closer shot to the cup. Or get a foul when you're down by 1. Yeah. But it was 77-77. It's the last shot.
Yeah, dude.
Shit. You know what I mean? You can. Now, I'm not taking away from the skill. She crossed her up. She went over. She did her thing. I'm not taking, but what I mean is, it's a lot easier to be bold when you're tied and worst case, you got 5 extra minutes.
Agreed. But she is a sensational player. She really is.
Oh no, she's a baller again. But when it's different. Mm-hmm. It's easy. You know what I mean? That's why they throw the Hail Marys at the end of the quarters and halves and stuff. Because we get lucky, right? Yay, right? Right? Okay. But 4 of them. It's a lot different, boy, when you losing and you decide to pull up from 28
Definitely.
feet.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah. That's when it means
that's when you enter game
not that it didn't mean nothing, but that's the difference. Like they were like, that's Kobe. Oh, she got ice in her veins like Jordan. No, they were losing when Mike pulled up. They were losing when Kobe pulled up. I remember when Ron Artest hit that shot. I was like, no, because they was losing and he made it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what gives it the that's the real ice water when you're losing, not when worst case, y'all, we going to OT.
Do you think they close out the series tonight?
Huh?
Do you think they close out the series tonight? The Liberty?
You know what? I think so. I think that broke. Yeah. I think that broke the Lynx because they were up 15. When somebody, I'm telling you, spirit is a big thing. When you stop believing you can get it, right? Because
so we threw the best thing we had out of them, and we still couldn't.
Right, and they were still able to pull that out. So I think that gets them. Like I think the Mets are done. I think the Dodgers just obliterated their. I
wasn't ready for that, man. Wasn't ready for that.
They lost 3 in a row. I mean, no, 2. They lost 2 in a row, but both at home. Both at home by like 8-0 last. I mean, 10-2 last night. Are you kidding me?
8-0 the night before. You want to hear a funny stat though? Are we going into baseball right now?
I just mentioned them because it's the spirit thing. You broke it.
I don't know if I sent it to you, Wudi. I saw a stat where 5 other times in the history of the the playoff series.
When a team loses by 9,
the LS series, yeah. If the team that lost by 9 or more runs was shut out by 9 or more runs in the first game, every team came back to win. Every team that lost that game 9-0 or more came back to win the series. The Mets would have been, if the Mets could have did it.
Don't say would have. I mean, the series is still going, man.
It's still going, but it's 3-1.
If the Mets lose the series, they'll be the first team to ever lose the series that got shut out 9-0 or more in game 1.
Yes. And again, the Mets are supposed to have superior pitching compared to the Dodgers. But
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I think the Dodgers
they're supposed to. The Mets got better pitchers on paper. Yes, they do, especially in those situations. The Dodgers pitchers is coming through.
Maybe the pen, but I feel like the Dodgers starters are better. Flaherty.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this:
Buehler,
they playing like it.
Buehler.
They playing like it. They are playing.
That's been
like
brutal. I'm not gonna lie. This whole playoffs. You know me. I watch baseball probably the least of our panel, but the Mets are very close to my family's heart. My grandpa brought me, every season. When I became a man, I started bringing him every season. He was calling me. He's 93 years old. He called me after every game. Did you see that Lindor grand slam? Did you see this play? Did you see this? Bruh, I haven't heard from my grandpa in like 5 days, yo.
I was saying, what do you have to say after the 8-0 loss?
Literally, you can't reach him, You can't reach him. I literally called my mom talking about, check on Gramps, make sure he's all right.
Do the Dodgers win the World Series this year, though? Because I think the series with the Mets is over, right? Barring a miracle,
yes.
Do the Dodgers beat the Yankees? Because I think the Guardians don't have enough. They got lucky. They won last night. Great. They're not beating that team. Do the Dodgers beat the Yankees? I think so, man.
I hate to admit it. I'll tell you why. Because you got the 2 greatest players in the league right now, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. And I want Aaron Judge to win a title before Ohtani. So that's really why I hate I can't stand that Ohtani.
I don't mind him.
I hate him. He's amazing, though. He's amazing.
But
he might be the best,
I don't think he's human.
Best player in any league.
I don't think he's human. I mean, we need to test. We need to check his blood. I mean, he's got to be like metal under that skin. Like
he's a samurai. Duh. Everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean,
they
what
bleed
he's done
on the
this year,
inside because they karate man.
But yeah, I tell you what, I just felt like the NL was stronger than the AL this year anyway. So as a Yankee fan, I felt the Yankees should go to the World Series. And I kind of feared any team we would face. Listen, the Mets, we didn't win a game against the Mets this year. The Mets beat us every time we played them this year. So even the Mets had me a little nervous. So I looked at the playoffs this year as or the World Series as I feel like the NL is going to win it. No matter who gets to go. I had the Yankees in 6 against the Guardians. Obviously, that could still happen, but like I said, when you lose a game the way you lost. Kind of like what you were saying about the Liberty and the Lynx. When you lose a game in that fashion, I know, and then again, I know people can say it's one game, relax. But you know what? When we were up 3-0 in 04 against the Red Sox, that was one game. And then it was 2 games. And then it was 3 games. And by the time you get to the game 3 or the third win, I mean, you already knew series is over. So it really just depends how they come out and they respond tonight. I expect them to. I just don't trust Boone in these situations. I think Boone, even Boone. What did he say yesterday? He goes, "Oh, it's really." I think he said something that's really depressing to lose, but you gotta respect being part of history or something because it was such a great game or something like that. And it's like, dude, that's what you say. It was almost like that time when they were down 3-0. He's playing in the clubhouse. I don't know if you guys remember this. I forget who they were down 3-0 to. Probably Houston. And he's playing clips of the Red Sox coming back from 0-3 in 04 against them, against the Yankees. Where's your brain out, my guy? Like, you're showing clips of your franchise losing when they were up 0-3 to get them fired up to beat to come back from 0-3 against Houston. Like, I know he's got a lot of wins, but he's got a hell of a squad to do it. He's shown no ability to win in the postseason. If he doesn't get to the World Series, I fire him the day after the ALCS.
Damn.
He's just I don't. When we had the best team this year, we should have we in 2022 we had the best team up until like three quarters of the season, and then we just totally tanked. I don't know. I'm nervous now. I know it's only 2-1. I get we're up by we're still up a game. I'm still nervous. I'm just nervous because I don't trust him. And when you lose in that fashion, it really takes a toll.
It does.
Yeah. Well, Gene, you popped off. We'll see what happens tonight. But we gotta go. It's been an absolute pleasure. All right. See us next Friday, where Nigel will be here. All right. I'm out here. I don't even know. I feel like I've been driving into the curb, but we out here driving this ship. All right. We will be popping off. Caleeb, sign us off.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
And go watch Ghosts.